Houston, this is Station. I am ready for the event.
Lee County School District, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call Station for a voice check.
Station, this is Lee County School District. How do you hear me?
Lee County, I have you loud and clear. Welcome to the International Space Station.
Station, this is Courtney Black from the Lee County School District. In our audience today are schools that recently participated in the 50 Years, 50 Schools Challenge, where 50 schools in our district participated in space-themed lessons to commemorate 50 years anniversary of the moon landing. Dr. Muir, we are over the moon excited to be speaking with you today. We'll now begin the question and answer portion of our presentation.
My name is Zara Rahman. I'm in 5th grade at Allen Park Elementary. My question is, what are some questions that could be answered with samples of the moon from the upcoming Artemis mission?
The moon is really the cornerstone of planetary science. Much of what we know, not only about the moon, but also about our entire solar system, was made possible through samples that were provided through the Apollo program, the previous missions to the moon. When we start the Artemis missions, we will also be gaining new samples from new areas that were not explored during Apollo. For example, the South Pole region, which is one of the targets for the Artemis mission. This site will tell us even more about some of the geologic processes on the moon for which we don't have data yet from the Apollo era. One of the things that these moon samples can also provide is knowledge about the first billions of years of the history of the Earth and the moon in our solar system. Since the Earth is more geologically active, we have lost this knowledge on the Earth, but this is still preserved on the moon. So these samples can provide us so many countless examples of data to tell us more about the formation of the solar system, the formation of our planet and other planets, and really all of these cornerstone fundamentals of planetary science.
Hi, my name is Eric Boyes, and I am in 6th grade at Three Oaks Middle. My question is, what kind of U.S. presence will building the Lunar Gateway establish on the moon, and what challenges may occur while constructing the Lunar Gateway?
Well, the Lunar Gateway will be an orbital outpost that will be around the moon, and this will enable us really to do two different things. First of all, to serve as this outpost and a staging area to go down and do these missions onto the surface of the moon. Secondly, it will be a platform to go further when we eventually go to Mars after these initial moon missions. So it really is multifaceted in that capacity. One of the really interesting things about the Gateway is that it will allow us to land on any portion of the moon, not just one, so we can explore a number of different destinations on the moon itself. I think that one of the challenges of constructing it will be that we are constructing something just like an engineering feat that we are trying to construct 250,000 miles away from home. Excuse me, this is one of the main challenges.
Hi, my name is Abby Mitchell, and I am in the 6th grade at Trafalgar Middle. And my question is, who or what inspired you to become an astronaut?
You know, I get asked that question a lot, and I wish I had one moment or one person that I could say always explains it all. But I really don't have that. I started saying I wanted to be an astronaut when I was only 5 years old, and I said it throughout my entire life. I think it's because one of the things that fascinated me the most was the world around me, and I had this inherent curiosity about nature, about biology, about all the things around us on our planet. I grew up in a town with a lot of trees and a lot of forest, and I like to spend time outside exploring. And that just stuck with me, and that exploring, I think that desire to explore went further and further and further, and I always had this idea that I really wanted to be in space looking back at the Earth and feeling what that felt like, looking back on the Earth with human eyes from the outside.
Hello, my name is Blake Yanko, and I'm in the 6th grade at Three Oaks Middle. My question is, how do you cope with space sickness or space adaptation syndrome?
Well, Well, I was very lucky, and I didn't have any space motion sickness, and I didn't have a lot of that adaptation syndrome where sometimes people feel really quite ill for the first few days after they arrive, and it can be a feeling of malaise or sometimes nausea and vomiting and that kind of thing. And I think, as you know, whenever you've been sick, that is just not fun. So if you are one of the unlucky people that does experience it, we do have some different medicines that we can take to help offset some of those symptoms so that we can adapt more quickly and feel okay to move about and learn our new environment and to start working effectively. And so we have a lot of training on the ground. We have a lot of doctors that support us to prepare us for all of these things, whether it's through medications or just what to expect, and having these different countermeasures in place. The great thing about this space motion sickness is that it usually only plagues people for the first couple days after arriving, and then the body, it's really, really interesting to see physiologically how quickly we adapt to this new environment. And people usually feel well after a few days, and they're ready to go about the rest of their mission.
My name is Kayla Walker, and I'm in the 5th grade at Fort Myers Beach Elementary. My question is, how do different countries cooperate with the International Space Station, and what are the strengths that each country brings to the partnership?
The International Space Station is a great example of what different countries in the world can do when we truly work together. And this is one of my favorite things about working up here, is that we have exposure to our colleagues and friends from all of these different countries, from the Russian Space Agency, the European, Japanese, and Canadian space agencies, all working with us as NASA astronauts. And we're all working together as one team. It's really interesting to see how it all comes together. You know, right now, I launched up here on a Russian rocket and a Russian spacecraft called the Soyuz, and that's been our only means of getting here since the shuttle retired in 2011. So that is one of the main elements that the Russians have been bringing to the table for quite a while now, is getting us all up here. Right now, I am in the Japanese experimental module. So this is the module that the Japanese Space Agency funded and designed and planned, and they support the most. I'm looking straight through here at the Columbus module, which is the European module from the European Space Agency. And again, that is their main contribution to the space station. For the Canadian Space Agency, you've probably seen or heard of the robotic arm, the Canadarm that's on the outside of the space station that moves things around, sometimes including astronauts doing spacewalks. So all of these countries represented some really significant contributions that together make us all work together successfully up here. And, you know, that is one of the most enjoyable parts, too. I think you might know from your own experience how much fun it is when you're working with a diverse team of people that have lots of different backgrounds and ways of thinking about it and solving a problem.